Think about it for a second, guys. It is so messed up. They will literally be taking your money and purchasing the very bonds that enslave you. You will literally be buying your own enslavement and granting the profits to Cantor and Fitzgerald. That's exactly what will be happening. You will be purchasing your own enslavement, and you will not be profiting off of it. Howard Lutnick and his family will. Hey guys, good morning. Today's March 29th, 2025. This is the Uncommon News Channel. Today I want to talk about something very important, and that's the stablecoin scam. Now, if you're unaware of what a stablecoin is, basically it's a method of liquidity in the Bitcoin market where people don't have to really assume so much risk in the volatility of the various different Bitcoins. They can get into these stablecoins, and the stablecoin is pegged one-to-one with the US dollar. Now, I want to briefly touch on the scam part of this and why I think it's really extremely important. Now, there's a few different stablecoins out there. You've got USDT and USD1. USD1 is Trump's stablecoin, and USDT is Howard Lutnick's stablecoin. Now, the USDT stablecoin is a very successful stablecoin. Billions and billions of dollars were made last year by Tether. And so keep this in mind, the bank that's holding the money that Tether pegs to their coins is Cantor Fitzgerald. That's the bank that Howard Lutnick used to run, and his family runs it. And what they're doing with these dollars is that they're all the dollars that go into Tether, that there's an account at Cantor Fitzgerald where they take the money that you deposit, and then they're purchasing treasury bonds with it, right? So if there's ever a point in time where the United States government decides that you must use a stable coin, then all of your US dollars, all of your cash, your money in a bank or whatever, is going to be going to this guy's bank, and then they're going to be the ones holding the treasury bonds, right? They're going to be purchasing treasury bonds, and they will have possession of the treasury bonds. And then I pose this question to you, okay? Because we know this kind of stuff can happen, right? What happens if Binance and Tether, the Tether networks, get hacked and shut down, and everybody that has a Tether coin or a so-called stable coin loses it all of a sudden, gets hacked all of a sudden? It happens every day. Who's gonna be the one to come out on top of that? Right? Cantor and Fitzgerald, right? They're gonna be the ones still holding the treasury bonds. Right, so no matter what happens to the markets, no matter how many USD you're out, they will still possess the treasury bonds. And what does that mean? What does that mean? That means they own the country. That means they own the bonds. We're bound. The country would be bound to them, right? Bonds are another word you could think of for bonds are binds, right? You're bound to what? To pay someone back for the bond that they purchased, right? You owe interest to them. Right, and if you're all forced to buy a stable coin, which is the direction in which it's starting to look like it's going that way, which is a violation of the Bill of Rights, and that's another video all for itself. I'll briefly describe how the stable coin violates the Bill of Rights. First, it violates the Fourth Amendment for your right to be secure in your person's papers and effects from unwarranted searches and seizures. Why is it against the Fourth Amendment? Because everything you do with your stable coin, it's open. It's open to view. Nobody needs a warrant to see it, okay? So it violates the Fourth Amendment there. It violates the Fifth Amendment because it's open, you're being forced, right, to testify against yourself. If you're giving money to somebody in another country and you don't declare it or whatever, you're being forced to testify against yourself here. And then it violates the Sixth Amendment because, the Sixth Amendment is your right to a speedy trial and a trial by jury, a jury of your peers, right? Well, in this case, no, you'd be penalized by the government immediately, without a trial, without a jury, without anything. They could literally shut your wallet down, right? That's why I'm extremely opposed to this kind of stuff, because it violates the Bill of Rights on so many fronts, all right? And not just that, this scam is set up to benefit a few people, right, and enslave everybody else. And I say enslave, and I literally mean enslave, because treasury bonds are exactly that. They are a form of slavery. Not a form, they are slavery. It is financial slavery. And these people at Cantor and Fitzgerald are profiting off of that, because these bonds are promises that they will receive taxpayer money until the interest is paid off. Okay, so make no mistake about it. When they force you to get into stablecoin by collapsing the dollar, let me rephrase it. When they collapse the dollar and then force you to get into a stablecoin or scare you into getting into a stablecoin, what you're doing is putting the chains on your own legs. When you give them your money, when you give Howard Lutnick, Cantor and Fitzgerald your dollars, you will be putting a block and chain on your leg and on your children's leg. The moment you do that, the moment you let them scare you into putting everything into the Tether or everything into the USD1, that is the very moment that you are enslaving yourself, your children, your grandchildren, and their children for eternity. So don't do it. And that's what this video is all about. So anyways, guys, if you appreciate this kind of commentary, you want to support what I do, check out the link in the description box below. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Ring the bell if you haven't already done so. And as always, don't forget, help out your neighbors. Bye.
False king on his throne of lies, armies falling down. Can't escape what's coming now. Justice raining down. Oh, the mark they